Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is something I've been putting off for quite some time, just like everything. But the steering on my excursion kind of sucks. And if you look back here, I had a video about putting steering stabilizers on. That was all to help the steering, but it didn't really help much. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So the biggest issue I got going on here is it does not want to return to center. Doesn't steer very hard. It'll return to center some, but not all the way. It's about as good as it gets. A little bit more, but still pretty much going around a curve. And when you're going around a curve on the highway, it keeps going around it even after the curve is done, like with no hands. So, and you're constantly making corrections going down the road. So this is the same wheelbase as my green pickup, but that thing is effortless to drive. As you can see, it won't quite come full to center. And I have tried to address this some. I've put more caster into it, but I think it's my steering box. And I have a donor vehicle now that returns to center better. So I'm gonna get that thing pulled out of there and swap it into here. Oh, perfect fit. Oh, that's kind of heavy. Well, that thing takes up a fair amount of room on the hoist. This thing came from the Twin Cities. It's quite rusty. Hopefully this doesn't fight me too bad. It's not looking promising so far. Went right through the cotter pin. Now time to separate the two. I have this on by just a couple threads here. That way when it gets separated, it doesn't just drop. I've got my tools of choice here. Seems to go pretty smooth all the way through its motion. Well, let's get that thing off there. Use the Walmart nut buster. Buddy gave me this old, I think it's a Mac. I'm not even sure. IR. Yep, IR. He couldn't stand to see me using this. Well, It's gonna be sitting here just in case I need it. Sounds impressive. Now that I got that pulled down, I got it turned so the bolt at the rag joint is exposed, so I can get a wrench on there. Oh wow. It's just gonna come off just like that, huh? Be all easy like. One Super Duty steering box. Time for the next victim. Oh yeah, can I actually see it? So I'm gonna pull off the air box just to make it a little bit easier. It's turning. Yay! So it doesn't really look like the boss is going to cause much for trouble here. Everything's out of the way. See if a little heat helped. Here's part of why the bottom bolt came out so hard. Look at how much it's eroded away. Might be kind of hard to tell on the camera, but it's eroded away quite a bit there. That's because it's the lowest bolt in the frame and garbage sits in there. Well, here we got the two boxes side by side. And when I look up online, they are the exact same part numbers between these two vehicles. This is a 2001 F450 two-wheel drive, 7.3 power stroke. This one is a 2000 Excursion V10. And the only differences I see, which I haven't counted these splines here, but supposedly they can be different. The differences I see in these boxes isn't in the boxes at all. It's in this arm length. And the Excursion is roughly 7 3/8. And the 450 is about 6 1/2. So about 7/8 of an inch shorter on the 450, plus might be angled down just a touch. Well, the frame rails on these two vehicles are essentially identical in the front, as far as I'm concerned. And as long as there's no fitment issues, I'm going to leave this arm on this box. And here's my reason. The shorter arm will give a little bit more leverage, make this feel like it's a little bit more powerful, which should make this box last longer, I would think. And two, this thing's too dang touchy the way it is. So a little shorter arm won't hurt anything, I don't think. Besides, I'll have to turn the wheel a little bit more to get where I'm going. So this one I can turn by hand. This one I can't budge. So I'm interested to see what this thing looks like inside. Just think, that was in my vehicle. You think that's why it might turn hard? Why it doesn't return to center? There's something wrong in the middle of that thing. Have you ever seen power steering fluid so black? Boy. The wear on there doesn't look terrible. It's got some wear. This all spins free. I think is what it is if you look at these teeth, they're not straight up and down, kind of tapered in the middle. That one's pretty straight, fairly straight. Those are kind of skinnier in the middle. It's just war. That's weird that it can bind up that tight, but there you go. That's what there is in a steering box. Just enough wear on here, and there you can see it. Enough wear on there, and enough wear in there. Well, time to put this one up in its place. And I don't foresee any fitment troubles here. Good to go. We can put our cotter pin in. I'm going to take that return line off, and I am going to stick this line into this lovely jug. That way I can flush some brand new fluid into that thing. Well, I kind of had my hands full flushing this, so I didn't film it, but is what I did is I topped off the pump with fluid, and then I started the engine and quickly came out and started filling it up, while every once in a while looking at the color of the fluid. And once that got pretty clear looking, like the oil I was putting in, then I shut off the engine. And now all I got to do is hook this back up where it goes, top it off, bleed the air out. So I had to jack up the front end to be able to turn the steering to get it to bleed, but now it's down on the ground and there's no problem at all. It's already pretty late, it's like 10 o'clock, so I'll bring you guys back in the morning. She's all back together, let's take her for a drive. I'm not used to this in this vehicle. I've been fighting the steering for years in here. Changed a lot of parts on here. Finally changed the steering box. And I'm not fighting this thing to go straight down the road anymore. It drives about like any other pickup I have now. So we're going around a curve now. Normally I'd be able to let go and it would just like keep on going. But it actually wants to return to center a little here now. Have trouble with your excursion being jerky down the road and hard to drive, you know, check the obvious stuff first. Ball joints, tie rods, and if all else fails, steering box. And I didn't notice really much difference with that shorter arm on there, but I'd recommend putting the shorter arm. It should give you a little less touchy steering and a little bit more leverage on the steering box. So it should just be easier on everything. So what if you got to turn another quarter turn or whatever? You know, lock to lock, big deal. Hopefully this helps somebody out there. I know I was struggling with this for quite a while, and I couldn't bring myself to spend $500 on a steering box or something. Heck, I barely spent more than that on that whole parts truck. So I got lucky. It had one that fit, worked, and this thing's going to be a lot more enjoyable to drive. Plus, I have to do some measuring, but I have some big ideas for the engine and tranny that's in that truck. You guys will have to tune in and see what I'm going to do with that. Hopefully this winter. We'll see how things go. I want to get that 1086 out of here first, and then decide what I want to work on. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the subscribers and all the comments. You guys are great. Like, share, and subscribe. Take care, and God bless. You want to run them?